Have you ever heard about a village where children risk their lives every single day just to go to school? This is Atuleer, where the village itself is perched on the edge of a 2,000-foot cliff, and it's considered one of the most extreme places in the world where daily life defies all expectations. Stay with us as we take a closer look at what daily life is really like in this dangerous yet amazing village. This is the Cliff Village, a remote and stunningly unique community nestled high in the mountains. This village is so isolated that for years, the only way in and out was by scaling rickety rattan ladders dangling down the cliffside. Just imagine children climbing these fragile ladders every day, risking their safety, just to get to school. Doesn't that sound like something from an adventure movie? Atuleer became famous in 2016 when stunning yet heart-stopping photos showed children from the village making a dangerous journey down the cliff on fragile rattan ladders, known as sky ladders. These ladders were the villagers' only connection to the outside world. School kids, farmers, and families all had to brave this climb whenever they needed to buy supplies, sell their produce at the market, or simply visit a nearby town. To dive deeper into these extraordinary stories and join a community that appreciates the resilience of these villagers, consider hitting that like button and becoming a part of our journey by subscribing. The children live in Atuleer Village, home to 72 families, perched precariously on a mountaintop in Jiaozhui County. For generations, their ancestors have lived here, isolated from the modern world. The village's only link to the outside is a chain of 17 smaller ladders tied together to form a dangerous pathway down the cliff. Some sections of the ladder are vertical and fixed to the rock face with steel bars or wooden supports. There are no handrails, no safety measures, and no second chances. One misstep can be fatal. Not long ago, tragedy struck when a villager in his 40s fell to his death while climbing this very ladder. Yet, the villagers have little choice but to use it daily. They climb down to sell their agricultural products, mainly peppers and walnuts, and to buy necessities at a market several kilometers away. For the children, this ladder is their bridge to education, a hard climb that takes 2 hours to ascend and about 90 minutes to descend. They are usually led by an adult to ensure their safety, but even that is no guarantee. A village frozen in time. Atuleer Village seems like a place untouched by time. The rattan ladder, according to one villager named Chen Jigu, is as old as the village itself, possibly hundreds of years old. When one of the ladders rots, the villagers replace it with a new one, continuing the tradition that has sustained them for generations. The houses in the village are simple structures made of mud, thatch, and wood. Life here is about survival. The villagers scrape by on less than $1 a day, living hand to mouth. Their main source of income comes from selling peppers and walnuts, but even that is a struggle. Buyers at the market take advantage of their desperation, offering low prices because they know the villagers cannot afford to carry their goods back up the mountain. The buyers know we have no choice, explained the village head, Jiang. Adding to their challenges is the lack of basic health care. If someone in the village becomes too sick to climb down the ladder, other villagers have to tie the patient onto someone's back and navigate the treacherous descent together, a life-and-death operation requiring incredible courage and strength. Now, the very important question arises in your minds: why live in such a place? It's natural to wonder, why do these families continue to live in such an unforgiving environment? The answer lies in history. The ancestors of the Atuleer villagers chose this remote mountaintop as a refuge from war and tribal conflicts. What was once a sanctuary has now become a trap. Relocating the village isn't an easy solution. The villagers' land and livelihoods are tied to the mountain. If they move to another location, they would lose their land, which belongs to other communities. It's unrealistic to relocate, said Jin Song, an official from Jiaozhui County. Their entire existence is tied to the mountain. Perched on a steep mountainside, the village of Atuleer seems like a place lost in time, its isolation a defining feature. On May 13, 2016, a glimpse into the villagers' unique struggles came to light, shedding more perspective on their lives and the challenges they endure. One story in particular stood out, hinting at a brief moment of hope and disappointment. At one point, A cableway connected this remote village to the world below, offering what could have been a safer, faster alternative to scaling the treacherous 800-meter cliff. Imagine being able to glide through the air instead of climbing a ladder tied together with ropes and old timber. It sounded like a dream come true, but that dream came with a heavy price tag. According to Apitiji, one of the village leaders, the cableway's usage fees were so high that most villagers couldn't afford it. What was meant to be a lifeline turned into an expensive relic. Eventually, the cableway was dismantled, leaving the villagers to rely once more on their ancient, rickety ladder system. High up in the mountains of Atuleer Village, life unfolds in ways that seem unimaginable to many. On May 14, 2016, a glimpse into the everyday challenges of this remote community painted a picture of resilience, isolation, and the heartbreaking realities they face. For the children who don't attend school, whether due to poverty or safety concerns, the steep cliffs and narrow pathways of the village become their playground. But beneath their laughter lies a world shaped by struggle. Without a road to connect them to the outside world, the villagers are trapped in a cycle of hardship. The peppers and walnuts they grow, along with the livestock they raise, are nearly impossible to transport. Even when they do manage to sell their produce, they often settle for prices far below market value, as buyers know the villagers have no other options. This lack of opportunity doesn't just affect their economy, it ripples into their personal lives in profound ways. For the young men in Atuleer, finding a partner is particularly challenging. Few girls from outside the village are willing to move to such an isolated place with limited opportunities. Even among the villagers themselves, the bride price for girls, traditionally a symbol of value and respect, is notably lower than in other communities. It's a stark reflection of how their isolation has shaped not just their livelihoods, but their social dynamics too. It's impossible not to wonder, what would life in Atuleer be like if the village had better access to the world below? A simple road could mean so much more than just transportation. It could open doors to education, better trade, and even new relationships and opportunities for the younger generation. The struggle for education. For the children of Atuleer, the pursuit of education is a beacon of hope. The village has no school because the mountaintop area is too small to accommodate one. The nearest school, located at the foot of the mountain, offers better living conditions, reliable power, and water supplies. However, getting there is the ultimate challenge. The boarding school charges 300 win, about $45.70 per semester for living cost, although the education itself is free. While this may not seem like much, it's a significant burden for families surviving on less than $1 a day. Despite these hardships, the villagers prioritize education. The government and families try their best to ensure every child can go to school, because we all know knowledge can help them live a better life, said Apigiti, the village's party chief. Can you imagine carrying heavy baskets of crops down a cliff like that? For the villagers, it wasn't just a choice, it was survival. Thankfully, things began to change in recent years. Local authorities replaced the homemade rattan ladders with sturdy steel ones equipped with handrails. This modern solution made the climb safer and much quicker, reducing the travel time significantly. Still, it was far from ideal, especially for the elderly and children. There's some good and unexpected thing that happened in this village. A graduate has arrived. We'll dive into the details shortly. Recently, so many families from Atuleer said goodbye to their famous sky ladders and began a new life in modern apartments, about 46 miles away in Zhaozhui County. For years, Atuleer villagers had to rely on steep, makeshift ladders to reach the outside world. It wasn't just an adventure, it was their daily reality. Climbing those ladders was the only way to get children to school, buy supplies, or sell farm produce. But now, life is about to get much easier. Their new apartments are worlds apart from their old homes on the clifftop, ranging in size from 25 to 100 square meters. These homes come with all the comforts of modern living: running water, electricity, gas, modern kitchens, and bathrooms. For families like that of Mose Laluo, this move is nothing short of life-changing. I'm very happy that today I got a very good house, Mose shared with a Chinese news outlet. Life will be very convenient for my family now. My children can easily go to school, and hospital services will be much easier to access. This relocation isn't just about convenience, It's about opportunity. The move means children will have better access to education, families will have healthcare within reach, and modern facilities will make day-to-day life more comfortable. However, not everyone is ready to leave. About 30 households have chosen to stay behind in Atuleer, holding on to their traditional way of life. The village, after all, isn't just a home. It's a place of history, culture, and community. Interestingly, Atuleer has become quite famous in recent years. The stunning photos of the village's sky ladders and its amazing location have turned it into a tourist attraction. In 2019 alone, 100,000 visitors traveled to the village, generating nearly 1 million won, about $140,000 for the community. Recognizing the tourism potential, local officials have big plans for Atuleer. They're working on building a cable car to make it easier for tourists to visit the cliff-top village. This development could bring even more income and opportunities to the villagers who choose to stay. The story of Atuleer is one of resilience and transformation. The families moving to the county are stepping into a brighter, more convenient future, while those staying behind are preserving the village's unique legacy. And for the rest of us, it's a fascinating reminder of how life can change so dramatically, even in the most remote corners of the world. A young university graduate married into a cliff village, embracing the challenge of climbing steel ladders for hours to call it home. Her determination is inspiring, and despite the tough conditions, there's been technological progress and growing tourist interest. The government intervened, building a new housing estate in the city, offering villagers modern conveniences and better opportunities. This move wasn't just about ease, it was about securing a brighter future for the next generation. But what's even more fascinating is how these villagers are adapting to urban life after generations of living on a remote mountaintop. The move symbolizes not just relocation, but also a shift in their lifestyle and culture. The long journey down. So what will it be like at the bottom of the mountain? At the bottom of the mountain, you'll find small markets and kiosks, busy with life. But for the villagers, reaching these places isn't as simple as hopping into a car. They have to climb down long steel ladders, a journey that takes hours. Just imagine the young villagers making this trek to buy simple things like instant noodles, rice, and cooking oil. And when they carry these supplies back uphill, it's even tougher. The journey is steep, slippery in the winter, and downright dangerous. Yet, these young people don't just bring back necessities, they bring hope and connection. With mobile phones in hand, they use the internet to promote the village's unique agricultural products to the outside world. Yes, there's a 4G signal here, which has become a lifeline for this community. Isn't it amazing how technology reaches even the most remote places, from farming to business? Cliff Village is no longer the isolated and struggling place it once was. Over the years, the villagers have worked hard to turn their land into a source of income. They've started growing navel oranges, green peppers, prickly ash, and olives, crops perfectly suited to the mountain's conditions. They've also taken up raising goats, chickens, and sheep. Goat farming in particular has become one of their main sources of income. Ever wondered what it takes to grow some of the most flavorful produce like navel oranges, green peppers, prickly ash, and olives? It's a fascinating blend of soil, climate, and a touch of nature's magic. Let's take a closer look at the ideal conditions that bring these delicious crops to life. Navel oranges thrive in well-drained, slightly acidic soil with plenty of organic matter. These juicy fruits love sunny days and mild winters, which is why they flourish in places with warm, Mediterranean-style climates. They're not big fans of frost, so a little extra care during colder months can go a long way. The key to their sweet flavor lies in balanced watering. Too much or too little can affect the fruit's quality. Isn't it amazing how a bit of sunshine and careful tending can produce such sweet, seedless gems? Green peppers, on the other hand, are all about rich, loamy soil with good drainage. These veggies thrive in soil with a neutral to slightly acidic pH. What they love most is warmth. Plant them after the last frost, and they'll soak up the heat to grow into those crisp, vibrant peppers we all enjoy. They need constant watering and a steady supply of nutrients, making them a bit of a diva in the garden. But the payoff is totally worth it. Now, let's talk about prickly ash. It's a hardy plant that prefers well-drained, slightly alkaline soil. This spice-producing shrub, known for its numbing zing, loves the sun, but can tolerate a bit of shade. It's surprisingly tough, thriving in challenging conditions where other crops might struggle. Perfect for adding a little excitement to your cooking, isn't it? And finally, olives. These iconic fruits need rocky, alkaline soil that drains well, ideal for the arid climates they're famous for. Olives love long, hot summers and mild, rainy winters, which mimic the Mediterranean. They're incredibly resilient and can thrive even in poor soil, as long as it's not waterlogged. Isn't it fascinating how something so simple as soil can give rise to such a rich, complex flavor? Each of these crops tells a story of resilience and care, reminding us how nature and nurture come together in the cliff to make this wonder happen. The local government has played a big role in helping them thrive. Villagers have been organized to visit other regions to learn new farming techniques. By applying what they've learned, they've improved their crops and expanded their agricultural industries. Slowly but surely, they're building a sustainable future. Tourism and visitors. Believe it or not, Cliff Village has become a bit of a tourist spot. The stunning scenery and the unique lifestyle of the villagers attract adventurous visitors from all over. Tourists come to see the breathtaking views, learn about the village's culture, and even buy local products like fresh olives and homemade goat cheese. But the surprising fact is that for the villagers, saying goodbye to these visitors is harder than welcoming them. Why? Because climbing down the mountain with their guests is even trickier than going up. Winter makes the journey even more dangerous with icy paths and strong winds. You can't help but admire the hospitality and bravery of these people. Modern connections. Life in Cliff Village has taken a big leap forward in recent years. The village is now connected to running water, stable electricity, and broadband internet. Mobile phone towers and TV relay stations have been installed, ensuring villagers stay connected to the outside world. This progress has made daily life more convenient and has also opened up new opportunities. Through mobile apps and social media, villagers now promote their agricultural products far and wide. Their oranges, olives, and other goods are reaching more people, bringing in much-needed income. The internet has truly transformed this once remote village into a hub of activity and opportunity. A day in the life. Picture this. A young villager starts their day by climbing down the mountain to pick up supplies. It's a 4-hour round trip filled with physical effort and focus. Once back, they help care for goats, work in the fields, or connect with customers online to sell their products. Their life is a blend of tradition and modernity, a fascinating balance that keeps the village moving forward. As night falls, the village lights up, not just with electricity, but with the hopes and dreams of its people. Thanks to their hard work and the support they've received, they're creating a brighter future for themselves and their children. Smoking bacon and mountain traditions. One of the age-old traditions here is making smoked bacon. The process is an art that's been passed down through generations. Villagers cure the bacon and then smoke it until it turns a golden yellow. Once smoked, it's left to dry in a well-ventilated spot for 7 days. This traditional way of preparing meat isn't just about food. It's a reminder of the self-sufficiency and resilience of the villagers who rely on their skills to survive in such a remote location. But life here is not all about preserving food. It's also about preserving a way of life. For many, this mountain isn't just home, it's their heritage. The farmland their ancestors cultivated, the cliffs they climbed, and the community they built are deeply ingrained in their identity. Climbing for survival. Living on a cliff means everything, absolutely everything, has to be carried up or down the mountain. Villagers climb down the steel ladders to sell goats, a significant source of income for many families. These trips take over 2 hours one way. Imagine balancing on a steep ladder with a goat in tow, then climbing back up with daily necessities like rice, cooking oil, or even school supplies. The journey isn't just long, it's dangerous. In winter, the paths become icy, making each step treacherous. Yet for those who remain in the village, this is simply part of their daily routine. It's a lifestyle that demands not just physical strength, but mental resilience. Why do people stay? You might wonder, why don't the villagers just move down the mountain? After all, life seems so much harder up there. The answer lies in their connection to this land. Many villagers feel rooted in the place where their ancestors lived for centuries. All their farmland is on the mountain, and moving away would mean abandoning not just their homes, but also their identity and history. For others, it's a matter of familiarity. Despite the hardships, this is the life they know and are used to. And now, with improved infrastructure, staying here has become a bit easier. Modernizing the village. The introduction of modern technology has brought significant changes to Cliff Village. Part of a $100 million investment went into building communication towers, making it possible for 4G and Wi-Fi signals to cover the entire area. Imagine standing on a cliff with a smartphone in hand, streaming videos or selling products online. Things that were unimaginable here just a few years ago. Villagers now use the internet to promote their agricultural products like olives, navel oranges, and goat meat. This has opened up new markets and brought in much-needed income. The younger generation especially has embraced these changes, using mobile apps and social media to connect with the outside world. What's truly fascinating about Cliff Village is how it blends the old with the new. The tradition of making smoked bacon, raising goats, and farming olives continues alongside the use of mobile apps, Wi-Fi, and 4G signals. This balance between preserving heritage and embracing modernity is what makes Cliff Village so extraordinary. The future of Cliff Village. The journey of Cliff Village is far from over. While life here will always come with challenges, the progress made so far has shown what's possible. With better connectivity, new economic opportunities, and a strong sense of community, the villagers are building a future that honors their past while embracing the present. Now that you've heard about Cliff Village, what do you think? Could you live in a place where every trip to the market involves climbing steel ladders for hours? Or would you visit to experience the breathtaking views, the rich traditions, and the incredible hospitality of the villagers? Let us know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. And if you're wondering whether Thailand is really worth the hype, stay tuned for our video where we discuss why you shouldn't travel to Thailand anymore. Don't miss out on our fascinating content.